Iso isomorphic strings. What the hell is that? All right, so isomorphic. Now, I don't even know what that means, and I don't even know if I pronounced this correctly. Isothermic. That sounds correct to me. Okay, isothermic strings. Okay, let's get started. Make sure the clock is running. Okay, right. So, all right. So, given two strings S and T, determine if they're isomorphic. Isomorphic. Two strings are isomorphic if the characters in S can be replaced to get T, and all occurrences of a character must be replaced with another character while preserving the order of characters. No two characters may map to the same character, but a character may map to itself. For example, given egg and add, we return true, and given, had too much fish. Given food and bar, we're going to return false. And given paper and title, we return true. Okay, note, you may assume both S and T have the same length. Okay, so we don't need to do boundary check. We don't need to do edge case check. But even if we didn't have the assumption, it'd still be easy to check this length. Now, so basically the question wants us to find out if the patterns of two strings match. Okay, so this is basically ABB, and it has to be ABB too, the pattern of this string. So this is ABB, but the pattern of this string is ABC, so which is wrong. And the paper, so let's analyze this problem in this editor. So say we have EGG and ADD. So in order to find out the pattern, we have to label every character, right? So for example, in this case, okay, we have E. So E, we mark the position of E. No, we give E a label, so that when we see if we have E later, we will refer to this label and see, and we're going to see, okay, that is the character, that is the same character that I've had. So I'll show you what I mean. So for example, say we have, okay, E now. E, how about let's mark it to be 1, okay? And then at A, we have, okay, mark it 1, 2. And when we have G, let's mark it 2. And for D, we'll mark 2 as well. So now we see a G again. We can refer, since we already have G, we can refer G to its previous, we can refer this current G to the label of its previous G, which is 2. So at this time, we're going to see if the index of the previous D is the same as the previous G, which are both 2. Now, how about foo and bar? Okay, so foo we have 1, and say, and okay, so in B we label it to be 1, 2, and say, so right now we have O. Okay, we're gonna, O is different from F, so we're gonna give a different label like 2. Okay, so in this case, bar is also different from B, and we are at the second character of the string. Okay, so we're gonna give it 2. All right. So, but when we see foo, let me make sure I have enough time to code this. Okay, so when we see the third, oh, okay, so now we know, okay, this we have had this O, so we refer it to the previous label. We refer it to the label of the very first character, which is 2. So now let's see R. Okay, R is different from A. So and R is the first. So R is the third character. R is the third character of the string, so it's going to be labeled 3. Now in this case, 3 is different from 2. So if I put 2 here, now this is the difference between two strings. So I think that also works for paper and title. So for paper, it's going to be 1, 2, 1, 3, 4. Okay, and for title, it's going to be 1, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2 as well. So okay, so I think we can start coding with this. All right. So first of all, okay, since the lengths are the same, let me make sure I have time to bullshit and code. Okay, so now first of all we need to keep track of the number of occurrences of every character. All right, so we need a array of integer, which is let's call it record. Okay, so it's gonna be new int and 254. So well, actually 128 times 2 is 286. So I messed it up here, which means so this is the ASCII character of. So we can put ASCII character, not only letters, we can also put number for our strings. All right, so now and at the same time, since we are labeling, since we are labeling the characters, we need to have a global label. So it's gonna be, we call it label is gonna be equal to, let's say 1. Okay, all right, so for int, we're gonna start from the beginning and less than s dot. So this is one thing I like to do. So first of all, I'm gonna get the length of the string th. So if length is equal to 0, which means this is nothing, then there's no point of doing this. I'll just return false. Okay, and because the same pattern, well, you know what, I'll return true, because nothing is the right pattern. Nothing is a pattern too, right? So S has nothing, T has nothing, nothing versus nothing, it's true. So okay, so S is less than length. All right, and I plus plus. Okay, so first of all, we need to check if they are the same. If they are not the same, what I mean by that is if the label at the current character, if the label of the current character, corresponding characters are not the same, then, well, obviously this is wrong. So if, well, actually we need to have I think we need to have 2 records to keep track of that. So okay, so we're gonna have record S. Oh, you know what? We're gonna have record S, and we're going to have record T. Okay, is new int 256. Okay, so we have record S and record T. So if, okay, so first of all, what we're going to do is, okay, we're going to have int, so gonna be the character of S, right? The character of S. Let me make sure I have time. Or I have 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay, the character of S is going to be equal to, it's right now is S dot chart at, okay, at this position, and the same thing applies to T at, so it's T chart at I, okay? So we got the character, well, the integer representation of the corresponding character, and now it's time, let's put it back to, first of all, we need to check if record S chart S is not equal to record chart T, okay? So chart record T and it's not equal to this, then we'll return false immediately, okay? Because this is obviously a wrong pattern. Or, okay, so this is right. So if record is, so first of, if record at this position, so there are two circumstances. One, we already have this character. The other one is we don't. This is the first time we see this character. So if this is the first time we see this character, then we need to do something. We need to label it, right? So record as and the character as is going to be, we're gonna say label, and record T, character T is going to be label too, label as well, and label will increase by 1. Okay, let me make sure I have time. Okay, all right, so now we have already labeled those characters, and we're going to increase by 1. And or else, if they are not the same, I mean, if this is not the first time we see this character, say this is, so record as at card S, okay, is not equal to 0, which means we already have this label, right? So we don't need to do anything because a label should keep at its, should be a label should remain the same for the same character or for the entire time. See, so like this, for 1 we always have 1 for P, right? See right here. Okay, now return true. Okay, so let me make sure I got the right code. Okay, so say we have paper and title. Okay, so all right, so okay, so we have character at I and T character at I. So say we get P and T. All right, so P and T records at P and T, they're equal, but they're the 0. So at this time, label will be labeled to record T, which is 1 and 1, and record T will be 1 as well. Okay, label plus plus equals to 2. So at the same, so in this case, this is A and I, and they are equal because right now they're the 0 as well. So A and I becomes 2, and label plus plus, so label becomes 3. And so right now we're at P again. So P, they are equal, but they are not equal to 0. So we ignore it. We ignore it. And our counter at this time, label at this time, is 3. So now we have E and we have L. Okay, so okay, this is the first time we see those characters, and I'm running out of time. So I guess we're good. So we'll try to see. Let's just make a and A. Okay. I feel like. Okay. Why is it? All right. Okay. Judging. Finish. True, false. Okay. So let's submit it. Okay. I think we can stop and let's submit it. Let's check. Accepted. Shit. I think there's something wrong with this. Okay. Yep. Okay, so anyways. Yep. The point of this is to keep track of the pattern of two strings using a label. Okay. Anyways, I think it was an easy question, but could be tricky. Anyways, thanks for watching and see you next time. And as always, happy coding.